Hi everybody, welcome back to Grab a Cup of Knit and Chat. Today is September the 15th, 2025, and it is about 7:15 in the evening. This is episode 40, and I'm just like a day late with the video, so sorry about that. I just really didn't have a whole lot to catch you up on, but I decided to go ahead and do a video anyway. So grab something to drink and come on back. I have my Sprite, so I'm going to open that up real quick. It's the middle of September. It's starting to get dark earlier. It's starting to get light later in the mornings. I drove to work this morning in the complete darkness. It didn't start to lighten up until I got almost to work. And it was very foggy. And it was like 48 degrees outside. I was in love with the morning. And then by lunchtime it warmed up and it got to be about 70 something. So it wasn't too terribly bad, but I've said it before, when it gets really hot, I don't like it. So today was a little bit easier on me and I felt better. So there we go. I do not have a whole lot today, although my partner has told me that even when I say I don't have a whole lot to talk about, he says my episodes are still an hour long because I get to jabbering. So there we go. I have one finished object. I'm going to show you two whips and we'll see where that leads us from there. So let me pull out my notebook. We are going to go to my projects notebook and I have here my Legacy Fiber Arts, Practical Magic. I'm filming on my phone today because my tablet was acting up, so let's see how this works. It is the Practical Magic Micro Sock Set, steel toes, 4-ply fingering, 75-25 superwash, merino nylon, and it's a 231 yard 50 gram mini skein with a 20 gram mini skein in a coordinating color, and here they are. So, ta-da! It took me a while to make these. I did a shadow wrap heel for the first time on these. And then I just did my normal wedge toe. Let's see, where's my notes on this? I started these July 27th. I finished these on September the 6th. I made them for me. They're the Practical Magic colorway, 64 stitch US 1, a 1x1 rib for 20 rounds, a 40 round leg, the shadow wrap heel, and I did 65 rounds on the foot, and then I did my toe starting with that first decrease. I have decided that if I'm going to do the different color toe, then I'm just going to do the 65 rounds in the main color and then just do the toe in the coordinating color instead of doing my 5 rounds and then starting the decrease. Or at least on that one I am. I'm not real sure how the shadow wrap heel works for me yet. I've heard so many people say that it's not deep enough for them. So I want to see how that works. I mean, it looks like it will be for me, but I just want to have a look at that. I really like it. It's quite fast and easy. This is my first time, so doing my what do you call them, twin stitches and triple stitches, I'm not real sure about. I'll have to do another pair where I actually do that heel and see how it fits, or just working through it once, I can never tell. So that's another pair off, and I have another pair on the needle, but they are at work because they're my work needle, or my work needle, my work socks for meetings and stuff. And I started those September 6th when I finished the Legacy Fiber Arts. I'm doing 2 at a time in a Circus Carnival sock at 64 stitches, a US one, and I'm just doing a 3x1 rib. So I cast on the 64 stitches, and I'm just working the entire sock in a 3 knit purl 1 rib. And I did that all the way down until where I wanted to place the heel, because I'm doing a forethought, afterthought, whatever you want to call it, heel on them. So I marked for my heel, but I did on the heel side, I did a knit row, placed a marker, worked the pattern around the front, did another knit row, worked the pattern, and did a third knit row and placed a marker, and then went back to pattern. So I just did the knit rounds on the heel where I'm going to be putting in the needles to pick up, and the round that I'm going to cut, I just did knit rounds for those. I didn't see any point in doing the pattern on those 3 rounds, since I'm going to pick up and cut them out anyway. I'm looking at some cute little stickers that I have for my journal that I want to stick in here before I forget, because I keep forgetting to take them with me, and I don't want to forget to take them again. So I'm just going to stick them in here. My journal, my traveler's notebook is getting quite chunky. I have decided that I'm just keeping everything in here because it's my go-to notebook. I tried to use my passport traveler's notebook, the passport size, and I don't know what to say about it. I have one of the booklets in here, and I guess you could say this is my little gratitude booklet, because I didn't do it today, but every day at work I journal in the mornings as I'm getting ready to start my day. Since I have such a long drive to work, I usually wind up having my thoughts go all over the place. So I've decided that whenever I get to work, I have my journal. It's like, I don't know what it's called. It's one of these type lined journals. It has the content index in the front. I think they're like $10, something like that. Anyway, this is just a failed attempt with some thin leather that I had. I was working on a trifold cover, but this is too thin. I need to order some leather to do that with. But I love the concept, so I'm keeping it together. The thoughts go through my head. Things pop in. I'm trying to work through things, so when I get to work, I have an hour when I first get to work that I call my focus time. And I will sit there and I jot down everything that was in my head first and foremost. In the mornings, I jot all that down. It's out of my head. Then I can turn my focus to, I check my emails, I check my messages, I check my calendar for the day. I get ready for that first meeting of the day because we have a meeting first thing within 45 minutes of everybody getting there. And it's just, I'm allowed to clear my head. One of the things that I was doing during that time was a gratitude in my little journal is where I started it because I was carrying my traveler's passport size, and everything was in here. I guess if I was to copy everything, it would be different, but if I already have it in here, why do I want to put it in there? Because then if I'm looking for information, I'm going to look for it in here. Anyway, there's my rant. My gratitudes are one thing that I did that made me happy for the day, one thing that I accomplished for the day, and one thing about someone, one thing that I appreciate about someone. So I do that the next morning for the day before, if that makes sense. Anyway, short story long, and I went off on a tangent already. You're welcome. It's just little things. It's that creative mind at work, and you have to get that creativity out in some sparks because it bogs you down in others. But, okay. I have that 2 at a time socks. They're kind of a primary, I want to say they're red, yellow, and blue with some green, but they're primarily red, yellow, and blue. And I call them the crayon box socks because that's what they look like. Next whip is hanging up behind me. That is right here. And you really can't see it very well. I have it on the hanger, but this is the back. And it's kind of bunched up. I'm just now starting the chart at the bottom. This is my cardigan it's a cardigan that I showed last time, and it is called, what is it called? Haruno cardigan. Let me see if I can pull up my stuff on my tablet. It's the long sleeve cardigan that has the I do have a picture of it, but I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of a dark picture, but this is a 2-color and you really can't see the work down there. So I would like to have a better picture. And no, I came in from work and grabbed something to drink and then just really came up to do the video real quick because it is kind of late. Oh, favorites. Cardigans to make. Apparently did not put it in my favorites. Why I did not, I have no idea. Here it is. Haruno by Eri Shamus. I've shown it before, but that's it. The top half and the sleeves are going to be in the brown, and then that multicolor is at the bottom. So I'm loving it. You do have to kind of pay attention, but I do love it. Those are all done in the pictures on Ravelry. It's a $7 US pattern. It has 9 sizes. It goes from a 34.25 to a 66.5-inch bust, and they show it with about 2 3/4 to 4-inch positive ease. I am making the size 7, which is for the 58-inch bust. According to that, I will have a little bit of positive ease, but not a great deal. I don't want it to be a great deal, but you really can't see the colors. This has kind of a teal green, mint green, misty gray color to it. It's that one right there. And that is Pigment and Ply. It's called Cordwainers and Claymakers. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's a 2-ply high twist sock. It's 459 yards for 100 grams. That's what I'm using for that bottom part. And that entire bottom part is going to be that color because it looks like the pattern goes from the braid that's in the middle all the way down. And then the brown is this color, which I got, and I looked it up. Let me see. I can't remember where I bought it from. I think it was Temu, to tell you the truth. It was like 12 50-gram balls. I can't remember what it was, but it was only like $14 or $15. It's not great, but it's in Yaden Marine yarn, color 212. And that's their It says that it's a worsted wool, but it's more of a DK weight. Sorry. I've been going round and round with weights for a little bit on different things because 4-ply in the UK is sock yarn, in the US 8-ply is DK, or they just call it double knit. It's crazy. So I'm and some of the things that we find that are marked worsted are not worsted. Anyway, that's the Haruno. That was started August 17th. Now, honestly, that has sat there for about 2 weeks without being touched. So I just picked it back up this weekend. So, you know, give or take a couple weeks, but it's been on the needles since August the 17th. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is my Painting Honeycomb shawl. It's by Stephen West. I'm using a US 5 needle, and I'm using all stash yarn. And it's in this basket. I keep these in baskets down at my chair downstairs so that they're right there, and I just kind of go back and forth. If I want to work on a pair of socks, I do. But this is where I'm at with it. It's kind of hard to show. And whenever you block it out, it's in honeycombs. So there's a small and a large with the pattern, and the small is just the size of the honeycombs is the only difference. This one is the small honeycomb that I'm making. I don't want to stretch it out too much, but that's it. The pattern also calls for, what does it say? I'm going to try to show you a picture without, yeah, this is just the information page. There's the picture. It calls for a main color, and I think it's 3 or 4 different colors. It's fingering weight. Let's see. One, two. It may be more than that. You can do it in what you want. This has 95 yards for each color contrast or mini skein sample. Has 10 different colors. There's people I've seen that's done it in 3 or 4 colors. You do what you want. I had this Cascade yarn, and I did have the tag to it. Where is it? It's Cascade Heritage. It's 75 superwash, 25 nylon. This is in the color 5654. It's 100 grams, 437 yards. I had 2 of these, so that's my main color. You can't really see it there. It's more, let's see, there you go. And all of the colors there are, there's 15 different colors. They're all in little baggies. Like this is needles from the Ready. Needles at the Ready. This is something that I had from somewhere. I don't remember where that came from. This is a lace weight I'm holding together. This is a spin cycle. This is a bamboo pop sock. I don't remember what that is, but I have them labeled. They're all in a little sandwich baggie. They all have a number on them, and I'm going through them. And some of them were mini skeins, so once I get to where I can't do them anymore, they just won't be in the rotation anymore. Yeah, so that was started August the 31st. I'm working through it. I think I've done that. I can't remember how. I think I'm on my third repeat of all 15 colors. But it's a good way to get rid of the colors. I have all of those blankets that I'm working on. Or, well, not that I'm working on because I haven't touched them, but I have all those blankets. Excuse me. And I have all this sock yarn. And that is a good way to get rid of the sock yarn, because you'll see what I'm going to do with it. It makes a nice shawl where you're working from one corner and then it works out, and it has a long edge here, and I mean, you can see the shape. It's just getting bigger. So you start down here with a tab cast on, and then you just kind of work across, and you're doing that edging as you're going, and it's just going like in a elongated triangle. So I kind of like that because I have a plan for that. And I can see on the back here that I've done 2 full repeats of the colors. This is the back of it. And I'm on the 3rd repeat. Actually, I just finished the 2nd repeat. So this ends the 1st repeat of the color. And this gray ends the 2nd repeat of the colors. I have plans. I don't know how they're going to work out, but I have plans. Now, what else to talk about? I have a test net for Les Garçons. I haven't really, I've kind of started it, and I haven't kind of started it. I started it and then I got confused, but that's on me. It's not anything to do with the pattern. It was the weekend. I was really excited. I have all this other stuff. It just was not a great time, so I took a step back. I've been working on the Haruno. Trying to get it, and even whenever I took a step back, I redid this. Let's see, you can't really see it because it's so dark, but there's a braid across here that separates. That braid there that separates. So I did that, and then I started the round below it, and I did that round in the brown, and then I picked up with the color, and then I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to go back and do that first round in the color? And then I decided no, I was just going to leave it. By that time, I had worked two rounds, and I was like, no, and then I felt like I messed something up, so I took it all back. So even though I did a good bit of knitting this weekend, I kind of like did the same 2 rows 4 times because I just kept messing up. Anyway, that's how it was with my test knit. And I had to put it down. Here's where the weight thing comes in. I have a test knit and DK yarn. You know how all the tariffs are going. Now I know how everybody in Ireland or other countries, the UK and Ireland, Canada, wherever you are, I know how you feel with us Americans are complaining about tariffs and the cost, and you've been saying for a long time we have to pay duties on things all the time. It's just part of it. If we order anything from another country, there's duties to pay, which is also tariffs or whatever. I don't know how that works. I get it now. I totally get it. But the yarn that I wanted to order for the test knit was not cost effective for me to have to purchase the yarn and pay the tariffs, so I went a different route. I went a cheaper route, and I thought, I have this in stash. Let me see if this will work. I had Patton's wool in stash. Patton's wool is 100% wool. It says that it's a worsted weight on the label. It says it's a size 4, which in the US basically means a worsted weight. I guess in the UK or wherever you would think of that as an Aran weight, because it's not really thick and it's not really thin. Anyway, I thought, okay, so I'm using my little tool that tells me what size the yarn is, the wraps per inch or whatever. I'm getting it coming up as a DK. I took the needles and the yarn, and I did my gauge swatch, and I washed it, and I blocked it, and I let it dry, and I came home, and I measured it, and I was spot on with the gauge for a DK weight. So just because it says it's something, you always want to check. And yes, you want to check your gauge. If it's something that you're not sure of, if you haven't used it for certain things before, it's not always true, because what Europe, UK, whatever calls a DK weight, the US doesn't always line up. I've noticed that on other things too, not just this. So honestly, Patton's is more of a DK than it is a worsted. Now, Lion Brand Fisherman's wool, to me, that's a worsted. It's a thick wool. So that's what I wanted to ramble about with the size yarns. I know the last few episodes have been really like scatterbrained and all over the place, and quite honestly, I have not had a lot to show, and it's just really being, at this point, the last couple of episodes have just been me coming on and showing what I do have and just talking to you to have a video up. I have had people comment that they don't mind the rambly talk. So here's your rambly talk. That's why it's called Knit and Chat. Or that's why I wanted my YouTube channel to be called Knit and Chat. Because I enjoyed the videos where people came on and they had their knitting and they would knit on a project and just chat about what they're doing, and just have like a little knitting circle type thing. And I love that. I love it with Needles at the Ready. I love it with Arna and Carlos. I love it with Table 10. I just like, and even Wool Needles Hands. I get tongue-tied every time I say that one. Sorry, Taylor. I like that, yeah, we can talk about stuff and I can show you things, but we're just sitting and having a cold pop or a cup of coffee and we're knitting and we're just chatting. So part of that is you chatting in the comments. I have someone that regularly comments. Also, if you don't, if you watch on TV, like if you're watching YouTube on your television, then you can't comment. Just look it up on your phone, your mobile device, and comment there. Like, if you want to. I'm not one that I don't normally say like and subscribe. I'm not really that. If you want to like it, that's fine. If you want to subscribe, that's even better. I'm not here to get subscribers, although it's awesome. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to have someone to talk to and to just, hey, how are you doing type stuff. I do appreciate those who comment. I try to either put a heart on there or I try to say something back. There's not a whole lot going on. Not really sure what's happening there. So yeah. Boy, I really went bonkers there at the end. Sorry about that. I hope you have something that you do every day that makes you happy. I hope you can look at your day at the end of the day and find something that you accomplished. Even if it's starting out by saying, I got out of bed today, or I laughed today, or I smiled today, or I ate something that I wanted to eat today. And really think about those people that are around you that you interact with and say one thing that you appreciate about somebody today. Even if you don't know their name because you were at the grocery store and you appreciated that the gentleman held the door open for you, or the gentleman gave you a shopping cart when he was pulling one out for himself and said, oh, here, take this one. Or you were putting a shopping cart away and they say, oh, I'll take that for you. It's the little things that matter. If you can't say something that you appreciate about someone for that day, maybe say something that you appreciate about that day. Like, you enjoyed the feel of the sun on your face, or you enjoyed the smell of something that day. Just take time to kind of notice what's around you. Enjoy what you're doing. And just know that there's always somebody out there that may feel just like you do. And we're all in this together. Just have some fun. And have a good night. Bye.